Hi guys, welcome back. Today we will be talking about cycle cards. But what are they? They are a collection or a group of cards that may have one or more relationships with one another. They also may share a common theme. Today we will be looking at the more obvious ones in Arthurian legends that is also represented on all four elements. The birds, the knights, the squires, and the families are just examples of these. We also have one special mention. So tara, let's have a look. First up, we've got the families. We've got the castle servants for air, common cottagers for earth, fisherman's family for water, and blacksmith family for fire. Now, as you can see, all of them have the same abilities, which they provide one threshold for each of the elements. They all cost 2, and they all have the attack power of 2. Another thing to note is that they do not need any thresholds to be summoned. You only need 2 mana. So there is a site in Arthurian legends that's called Hamlet, which reads, ordinary minions cost 1 less to cast to this site. Therefore, if you can just put the site there, you can cast any of these ordinary minions to this site, which already gives you a threshold. If you are an air element user, you can simply put a dark tower, lone tower, or a gothic tower down. It produces 2 mana, which means you can bring down any of the families onto the realm. Now you have an air and an earth threshold. Up next are the birds. We have the ominous owl for air, redbreast robin for fire, green sparrow for earth, and thieving magpie for water. The thing in common about all 4 of them is that they require 1 threshold and 1 mana each. They all have 1 attack power. They are all beasts. And they all have airborne. So all of them can be searched by our friendly Highland Falconer. One thing that sets them apart is their second abilities. For the ominous owl, it says you may cast minions to this side. So on your turn, the ominous owl is airborne and may attack a nearby site and survives. That means you can use 2 mana to summon a minion here. For the earth, we have Genesis, gain 2 life. Now, if you are not yet on death's door and you have been damaged, you simply summon the green sparrow to gain 2 health. Up next, we have the fire, which reads, at the end of your turn, each other unit here takes 1 damage. So on your turn, you don't need to attack or trade damage with the earth airborne unit. You can simply move there, and at the end of your turn, it will deal 1 damage to each other unit in this area, dealing 1 damage and killing it. For water, we have the thieving magpie. Airborne may pick up carried artifacts with cost 1 or less. In this scenario, we have an enemy avatar carrying the Ring of Morrigan, which is an artifact that costs 1 or less. So the thieving magpie can simply move and pick it up. And then maybe next turn it can come back and give the ring to its master. Up next, we have the squires. For air, we have the weightless squire. For earth, we have the thankless squire. For fire, we have the reckless squire. And for water, the shameless squire. All 4 squires have 1 attack power, and all of them come with the keyword lance. But if you would notice, the thankless squire has 3 lances instead of just 1. The weightless squire is airborne. The thankless squire is immobile. The reckless squire has charge. And the shameless squire has the Genesis ability, tap target nearby enemy, it drops everything it's carrying. Up next, we have the multi-threshold knights. First up, the blue knight. Up next, purple knight. And then we have the verdant knight and the yellow knight. All 4 of them have the same mana and threshold requirement, 3 mana and 1 of 2 elements. They all have 3 attack power and 2 health. And they all have the keyword lance. Here we have the black knight and the white knight. They both cost 5 mana. However, for the black knight, it costs 2 less to cast if you have more life than your opponent. However, with the white knight, it costs 2 less to cast if you have less life than your opponent. If you also look at the stats, the black knight has 5 attack and 3 health, while the white knight has 3 attack and 5 health. Up next, we have our unique sites. First up, Kalyanapanask, Glastonbury Tower, Joyous Guard, and Tintagel. All 4 unique sites have the same ability, only provides mana and threshold while in your back row. The only differences that they have are the thresholds that they provide. Up next, we have the unique Spellcasters. For air, we have Merlin. Anytime during your turn, Merlin may look at your next spell and may cast it if it is a magic spell. For fire, we have Morgana Le Fay. She has Spellcaster and Stealth, and her Genesis ability reads as Morgana draws her own hand of 3 spells, only which she can cast. For water, we have the Lady of the Lake. She's a Spellcaster with Submerge. Genesis, you may summon a mortal or artifact from your cemetery to the Lady of the Lake's location. If you do, shuffle her into her owner's spellbook. For Earth, we have Vivienne the Enchantress. She does not have the Spellcaster keyword, however, Vivienne has the printed abilities of all the avatars and spellcasters in the realm, wherever she is. All 4 of them require 3 thresholds of that particular element. The first 3 requires 3 mana, however, Vivienne requires 5. The first 3 also have 3 attack power, while Vivienne only has 1. Alright guys, here again are the Arthurian Legends cycle cards represented in all 4 elements. We've got the birds, the families, the squires, the knights, and the unique sites. However, I do not have all 4 of the unique spellcasters. Now, let's get on with a special mention. Do you know what it is? And our special mention is the Wall of Brambles. So Wall of Brambles for Earth, wall of ice for water, wall of air for the air element, and of course, wall of fire for the fire element. All 4 of them are auras, and they all cost 2 mana and 1 threshold for each respective element. Now, if you notice, the wall of ice, wall of air, and wall of fire are all from beta and says conjure atop a border of a site you control. However, with the Arthurian Legends Wall of Brambles, it says conjure atop a border of an allied site. The Wall of Fire reads, whenever a unit passes through the Wall of Fire, it takes 3 damage. The Wall of Air, minions with airborne or 2 or less power can't traverse the Wall of Air. While the Wall of Ice says units can traverse the Wall of Ice on the ground. And the Wall of Brambles, whenever an enemy traverses this wall on the ground, it takes 2 damage. If you know or notice any more cycle cards for the Arthurian Legend set, please let me know down in the comments. If you do enjoy our content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!